Good morning, bronies! This is the Concert Cruiser, and to get you all hyped up, I am happy to introduce to you the voice of Big Macintosh himself, Mr. Peter New. Peter, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
My pleasure. Good morning, everyone!
Can you give us a yep before we start?
Yep.
Thank you so much. Now, your character has been in some really good adventures in the comic book series, be it gazebo repair to exploring his inner thoughts. Do you wish these would be an episode, or you just not follow the comic books?
Oh, no, I mean, I haven't, I don't know if I've read all of them, but what I've seen of them I really enjoy, and there a couple of them for sure I wish were episodes. I love the one where he's just trying to get across town and it's all his inner monologue and stuff, and I just think that'd be terrific as an episode. But at the same time, I understand that you know, art kind of fills its own form in a way, and you know, the comic is the comic and the show is the show. So
yeah, like, I get the joke, like, we all want to actually hear him talk, and so they put him in the comics as kind of a little poke at the fans, but like, come on, this would be awesome.
I know, yeah.
Were you a little taken back by the notion that your character says so little?
No, I always thought it was really funny. I really enjoyed right from the get-go, right from the audition, I really enjoyed the idea that he was this, you know, he had wisdom. I always played it like he had wisdom, and that his wisdom was just to let you reflect on what you just said to me, you know? Like, I like that it's this whole, like, I'm worried about this, and I'm worried about that, and what do you think? And he just goes, yep. And they go, yeah, you're right. You know, because I like that he just recognizes that, you know, whoever's talking to him because this happens in life, right? Where you already know the truth of your answer, but you're kind of hanging on to the opposite thing for whatever reason. Does that make sense? And I like that he's just this. He's just kind of this touchstone for other ponies that makes them see their own truth. And I thought that was smart writing, and I thought it was very entertaining writing as well, just to have that yup and nope. But that said, the very first thing he said in the show, do you remember?
Yeah, I believe it's with Applebuck season where he says, "Yep, too big for you to handle on your own."
Right.
So, like, he is definitely capable of deep thoughts.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, I often get asked, you know, what's it like just saying yup or no? But I always think that wasn't even the first thing he said.
Yeah. And one of the more entertaining things I think you ever said about your character was trying to figure out just how many different ways there are to say yep and nope.
Yeah.
And looking back, and I was, you know, even just watching the show just last night, there actually are a bunch of different ways to say those two words.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, you just never really seem to realize just a different direction a word can mean by just how you say it.
Well, the scene is the context, right? And you're always playing the scene. You're not playing the voice. Yeah, you know, I don't show up at work going, yup, yup, just repeating the sound. You know, you show up at work playing the scene, and if the scene requires me to be angry, then I'll do it more angry. And if the scene requires me to be bashful, I'll do it bashful, etc. So that, you know, you play the scene. You're an actor.
Exactly. Now, you've seen some pretty outrageous things in the fandom, from riding an elevator with a brony who didn't realize he was riding an elevator with Big Macintosh, to even riding your own pony.
Yes.
Has anything else recently topped that?
Oh, I always feel like there's something at every convention I go to. What did I liked it. I thought it was somebody wanted me to sign Tabitha St. Germain at BronyCon, not this past one, but the one before. I thought that was funny. What else? I signed a bus once, in the inside of a bus. They wanted me to sign that. Yeah. I don't know. Anything you can think of, I've seen it probably. But if I haven't, you know, I guess there are things I haven't seen when it comes down to it. But I just think it's remarkable. I mean, it's the thing that I find endlessly endearing about this fandom is the the depth of imagination about surrounding ponifying everything. I just think it's terrific.
Yeah, it's almost become like a new law of the internet now.
Yeah,
like I've seen many pony versions of characters that I know and like. It's like, really? Like, you think this is worthy of being ponified?
Somebody does. I mean, somebody likes everything, really.
Okay, now I have heard many times that actors are mostly unemployed and just how hard the road to steady work is. But how is the transition from being gainfully employed to being a full-time actor constantly looking for work?
I think that's probably different for everybody. For me, I was gainfully employed at a bookshop that was going out of business, and I had I was able to collect government employment insurance for 6 months while I looked for other work, and I just made the decision in that time to look for acting work, and I hit the pavement, looked for agents, started doing auditions, and just did it. I had the time and I had a little bit of money still flowing in, so I just worked the system, and
yeah,
and at the end of that 6 months, I was working a little bit, and then the end of the next 6 months, I was working a little bit more, and by the second year, I was working enough to feed myself, and by the end of the next year, it was a bit more, and then it was a bit less, and then it was a bit more, and then it was a bit less, and that's kind of how it's been ever since.
Yeah, I can imagine how much of a struggle it must be, but would you say that with technology and YouTube, it's made it a little bit easier to get discovered?
I don't know. I think it's made it different.
Yeah.
And I also I kind of reject the get discovered notion, that
really,
because it implies that you, first of all, it implies that there's this club that exists that is trying to discover people, which there isn't really. And
really? Secondly,
it implies that you can be out in the world on your own, doing your own thing, and fame and fortune will sort of happen to you. It doesn't really work like that in most cases. In most cases, it's just the result of hard work inside a system, which is essentially, the entertainment industry is essentially a factory system, and you get involved on the ground floor and push. And if you are successful, then you get recognition and so on and so forth until you're working at a higher and higher level. And so this notion that you could just be goofing off in front of a movie theater, which was the image I had in my head when I was young. That I'd just be telling jokes and doing voices and being wacky in public, and maybe, who knows, Steven Spielberg might be standing over my shoulder and be like, "That's perfect, it's what I need." And it's not that doesn't happen, but it happens so incredibly rarely. I would have started working a lot sooner in this business had I not held on to that idea for as long as I did. I held on to that notion really until I was in my mid to late 20s, and I wanted to be an actor from 17. And I went out there and I did my own thing, and that was fine. It was great school and all that stuff. But I really rejected agents, and I rejected auditions. Like I had one fairly early, and I was upset because I didn't get to audition for the leads because they were cast in Los Angeles, and all I was getting was one line here and there. And I'm 18 years old and thinking I'm better than this. I deserve better. And so I just thought I'll get discovered doing my sketch comedy, which of course I didn't. And of course I didn't.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try to find some of that stuff, too. I'm curious to see it.
It's out there. It's on YouTube, waiting to be discovered.
Oh, really?
Just waiting.
Okay. I'll have to see that after the interview. Now, you actually are going to be doing something a little special with us with the gala. You are going to be doing a workshop for voice acting.
That's right. I think what we've decided to do is set it up for an hour or maybe an hour and a half on Friday, and another hour or maybe an hour and a half on Sunday. And I'm only doing 10 people per session because I don't want it to be a big crowd of people. I don't want to give lectures. What I want to do is be able to talk with people and figure out where they are at with voice acting, why they want to be a voice actor or what has brought them to the workshop, and then work with each person individually on helping them break through whatever wall they're at, or pointing them in the direction they want to go, and learning how to place their voice and various other things like that. And just take people individually in this group through some scripts and some scene work, and hopefully benefit everyone even just a little.
Well, I've certainly bought my ticket,
All right.
and I hope to see a lot of you guys there, too.
I hope so, yeah.
All right, thank you so much for this interview, Mr. New. It's going to be a fun time having you and everyone else at the Grand Brony Gala.
See you then, bronies!
Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.